8:05 p.m., the night before winter begins, December 2022. I'm Xtina Harmsworth inside of the private space XMH Empire. And tonight, I present to you the story of a diamond. I've had like a ton of energy in my body all day long. So much energy. Some nervous energy, some tears, some excitement, some unknown, like the feeling of the unknown. And earlier tonight, I messaged Jessie from my team and I said, tonight is probably the perfect night for me to speak on this topic. For the next 3 nights, we're going to be together. Tonight is just the beginning. Tomorrow is going to be the continuation. Thursday will be our final day together at 8 p.m. My mind has been just utterly blown by this year. This is our 11th free masterclass. So masterclass number 11. If you've been changed, if you've been motivated, if you've been inspired, if something that I've said in masterclass has affected you at any rate this year, can you just throw hearts in celebration of our team, the effort, the commitment, the dedication, the devotion, the diamond in the making. This year held 10, I'm reading the stats, 10 free masterclasses. This is number 11. 10 masterpieces of content put together with you in mind for the person who just is looking for a place to tap in for motivation, guidance, direction, encouragement, someone to see you, someone to normalize the journey that you're on, someone to light the fire within, a place that you can tap in completely free. This is the 11th time that we've done this year, and it's been my pleasure. So tonight marks our 11th free masterclass of the year. 2022 held 10 full-length programs for our clients on everything from copywriting to energetics to course launches, just everything that it took for me to get to multi-7 figures as a personal brand. This year held 10 micro courses. If you were in one, can you hashtag the word micro course and show off a little bit? Say who you are. This year held 24 VIP days. 24 VIP days carved out for the clients of spaces like Locked and Loaded and MDM, the $1 Million Mentorship. 24 VIP days this year. In 2022, we held 4 masterminds. If you're a masterminder in my world, if you're part of MDM, if you're part of Locked and Loaded, if you're a part of Rich Bish, the Q4 Mastermind, or Brand Me, if you're part of the Millionaire's Desk, which I consider a micro mastermind, if you're part of any of those, will you hashtag who you are and show off in my world, please? I'm so proud of you. This year held 7 live Q&As dedicated and devoted to our clients' growth, both personal and professional, their soul, their spirit, their journey, everything. This year held 2 luxury in-person retreats. One, in my opinion, way more luxurious than the next, but I'm just so freaking proud. I hosted 2 retreats while nursing my baby and holding it all balancing it all, creating moments for our clients to grow, to create content banks, to thrive, to map, to plan. Our third is coming up for New Year's Eve. Crazy. 2022 held 19 client branding shoots. 19 client branding shoots devoted to them growing, thriving, expanding, being seen. This year, 274 clients, including you, have been welcomed inside of our containers and served from the depths of our hearts, and it's been a fucking gift. That's a lot to celebrate. That's so much to celebrate. And it feels appropriate that the last experience together, the last free program of the year, should be dedicated to the entrepreneur. Now, I'm very excited to walk with women in all phases of their growth and who they are and who they become, and to see them, to see their path, to see their journey. But there's something special about the heart of an entrepreneur, the heart of a diamond. And so over the next 3 days, I'm going to invite you to my space, and I'm going to dress up every night, and there'll be a story behind every outfit, which is really fun. So fun. Like, so fun. And actually, I want to open XMH Empire because I can't see your comments, and I really want to see them. Like, I really want to see them. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to open it up. Already 30 comments. Oh my God, I want to say hi to who's live. I see Tahani, I see Dana, I see Monica, Tennille, Heather, Abigail, Raven. Hey! My mom, 18 other people are watching. Okay, so I just opened it. So if you comment on this phone, I'll see you. Okay. There's so many things I want to say over the next 3 days. And I have notes, but I definitely feel like it's not going to matter because there's something that's been wanting to come forward for like 9 days. Ever since I did some of the work that's inside of Iconic, which is our energetics program of the year. It's happening right now. We're doing some of the work inside of Clear to Soar. And as I do the deep emotional work for myself, things are unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. And there's something that just wants to come through. And so I have notes, but I don't know that I'll even use them. So there are so many voices in the online space. There's so many voices. So many coaches, so many mentors, so many authors, so many entrepreneurs, and God bless them all. Like, they all have a thing. They all have a message. They all have a way. They all have something that they deliver. And in the last couple of weeks, there's been, I don't know if you watch it, and maybe you're out of tune and you're just like, what even happened? But there's been this insinuation inside of the mentorship industry, the personal development industry, that there's a lot of people delivering the exact same message and being like replicas of one person. And for any woman in business, any entrepreneur, any $1 million woman in the making, any diamond uncut, the last couple of weeks can have shaken you to your core. Some of you will have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's actually probably better for you. But the next 3 days, I want to speak to the entrepreneurs who have been shaken. Maybe not by anything recent, but those who have walked in 2022 and you've been shaken. You've walked a challenging path. You've wondered if the dreams that were planted in your heart are ever going to happen for you. There are some of you who feel buried, who can feel like a lump in your throat and tears wanting to form in your eyes just thinking that thought. Some of you have felt hidden. You know the possibilities. You know what could be. And you're watching it all happen for others and wondering when it's your moment, when it's your time, when your name will be the one. Maybe you've had a taste of it so far, but you just know that you're made for so much more. There's some of you who have had a year of pressure, like so much pressure. That word just creates waves of memories. You're like, yeah. If any of these words land, just like say them in the comments. Just be real. Some of you thought the pressure was over and then the fire started. Some of you outlasted the fires and you thought it was complete and then you got cut. Tonight's experience, tonight's masterclass is literally not for everyone. The next 3 nights is going to be the creme de la creme for entrepreneurs. My intention is to put wind in your sails. My intention is to let you know that I see you. My intention is to actually normalize the things that you're going through that feel like they're enough to make you crazy. And tell you it's all going to be okay. You're on the journey of a diamond, the diamond uncut. If this even remotely begins to resonate with you, I want you to say something in the comments. I want you to claim that philosophy. I want to claim that that's who you are. I want you to boldly allow yourself to take up the space and step in the room and take your seat at the table, which to me is the table of the creme de la creme, the 1%. The one who know that they are a diamond in the making, who have walked through pressure and heat and fire and feeling hidden and feeling buried and wondering when it was done and then feeling cut. If you resonate with any of this, this is your next 3 days. Like, I'm going to walk you through just a journey together to normalize what's happening for you. I want to say something about masterclasses, and there's millions of them. Like, there's a new masterclass that pops up every day. And there's people who teach a masterclass and all they do is they tell their story and then they sell at the end. And if you're new to my world, I want to just reassure you that that's never the intention around here. My masterclasses are designed to help you understand what's happening and why. My masterclasses, the intent is to give you peace in the middle of chaos. To help you know that there's somebody who sees you. That there are other people who are made of the same stuff as you are. And that 99% of the world will not get us. But if you know that you're a diamond uncut, if you know that you're a diamond in the making, if you know that you are made to be part of the 1% or smaller or fewer, you know that the pressure wasn't for nothing. The fire wasn't for nothing. The heat wasn't for nothing. The cuts weren't for nothing. But that you're made for more impact, legacy, generational wealth, for your name to be known, not just for you, but for generations, this is the place for you over the next few days. God, I'm excited. All right. I see your comments. This is exciting. All right, I'm gonna pull my notes for like 4 seconds and see if it even works. See if it even matters. See if the notes mean anything. A year ago, just about a year ago, just about New Year's Eve a year ago, I wrote a note on my bathroom mirror. Anybody who knows me really, 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 really well knows I am a freaking weirdo. And I write my affirmations in the most obvious places. My shower, my bathroom vanity, my bedroom vanity. I have a note on my makeup station that I look at almost every day of my life. I write the things that I need to be reminded of in the most obvious places because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I tend to brush my teeth and shower every day, whether I need it or not. And so I write my affirmations in places that are just gonna like pretty much cold clock me when I look at them. Anybody relate or just me? I know my Millionaire's Desk people up here relate. The people in my masterminds, you relate. We write the things that feel like they're out of reach and impossible. But with faith, we know that they won't be. And that every day we know that faith without works is dead. And so we get up and we take steps towards those things, although they feel impossible. So there's a place where I write some of my affirmations. And about a year ago, I wrote something down that scared the shit out of me. And it wasn't a money goal. Had nothing to do with money, really. A tiny bit, but not really. The thing I wrote on my mirror a year ago, I wrote, what if this were the last year you had to build your dream? Would you be showing up any differently? Rough question. Tough question. Harsh question. Some might say that's a negatively intended question and so it shouldn't be asked. Some might say in terms of manifestation, that's a little bit of a doomsday-ish thing to say, isn't it? Maybe. But I also feel that the mentorship industry is full of people who think they have a lot of time. And lovingly, I think we've gotten a little freaking soft around the concept of just take the time limits off. Just know that you are, in the making. Have you heard this rhetoric? It's like, I understand it. And sometimes I love to hear it because it soothes me a little bit. I'm just like, yeah, I got more time than I think. Stop freaking out. Stop freaking out. It's been helpful to hear sometimes, I'm not going to lie. But for some reason, a year ago, I wrote on my mirror, what if this were the last year you had to build your dream? Would you show up any different? Would it change what you're doing? Some of you are acting like you have a hell of a lot more time than you do. Because the truth is, we're not guaranteed. We don't know. Some of us only have 5 years. Some have 1 year. Some have 10. You don't know. And this message isn't for everyone. This kind of message will probably give some people anxiety, but for someone who is a diamond, this is the type of message that keeps you in it to win it. That question. Yes, I can see comments finally. Deborah Gaines, you're my first comment. That question literally compelled me to make a very different move in my life. When I asked myself that question, I had a baby nursing. She would have been about 5 months old. When I asked myself that question, I was about to build my first 6 figures in recurring revenue before January 18th of this year. I asked myself if I only had a year to build everything that I want to build for my family. Because you don't know. I mean, I don't think the internet's going away anytime soon. And I don't think that the coaching industry is going to flip on its head. And I don't think people are going to be stopped from selling in the online space. I don't think that. That's not what I think. But I had to ask myself if there were some other external limitation and this were my last year that I could really, really build my dreams, make the impact that I want to make on the world, on women, on families, on my family, myself, my health, my kids, build the life of my dreams. If this were the last year that I could do it, and I knew that there was a cap on time, would I shift anything? Leaving this particular 3 days together, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you to stop pretending like you have unlimited time. I want you to tap into the possibility that time is finite in this plane with a body. And tap into the faith side of things, that if you believe in a creator, which I do, that you came here to have and to enjoy an incredible life. And it's time to develop that life as fast as fucking possible so that you can enjoy it, that you can enjoy the dream while you're still here. Is this doing anything to any of you, or is it just me? Because this isn't the narrative. For the bulk of women coaches that I'm around, this isn't the narrative. The narrative is, you have unlimited time, take the pressure off, you're a beautiful brand in the making, take your time. Some of you don't have the time you think you have. Some of you are in the moment to make the impact, to make the moves, to have your name known, to create the type of content that shifts nations. Like, some of you, it's time to clean up your own house. Don't take it for granted. This year I lived an uncommon life. Some people might call it a boring life. I mean, I read it off at the beginning of this time together. 11 free masterclasses, 10 full-length programs, 10 micro courses, 4 masterminds, 24 VIP days, 19 client shoots, 2 in-person retreats, and 274 clients served. And if you saw my life day in and day out, which we documented a lot of it, I hired a camera team to come and document the experience. It didn't look fucking glamorous. Sorry, Shane, I swear. Shane, my client Abby's son. Hi, honey, good job booking your hotel room. And sorry, I swear. It wasn't glamorous. And there's this rhetoric in the online space of like, it gets to be easy. It gets to be easy. There's so many coaches out there pushing this concept of like, it gets to be easy. And like at some point, some things do become easy. But my husband and I giggled a little bit today, like thinking back to the starting phases of our brand. And hi, Julia, thank you. I'm actually about to talk about the whole beginning of our brand with the makeup. We were giggling today about going back to 2015 when we originally incorporated our brand. Like, I don't remember an easy year. You can reframe a lot of things and have a positive attitude. Like, you sure can. You can absolutely reframe things, and you can pull the best from the worst day ever, and you can have the worst day of your life and the best day of the life all on the same day. And you can extract the lessons, and you can forgive, and you can let things go. But I promise you, there hasn't been a single easy year since we got started. And I feel like it's isolating for women in business to hear this rhetoric of like, oh, it gets to be easy. Because I'm like, what about everyone else who was a diamond in the making right now? How isolating for them to feel that they must be doing something very wrong because nothing feels exactly easy. Can anyone relate to that? And there's a lot of people buying courses and classes and mentorship from people who say, it gets to be easy. And we're like, okay, what do you know that I don't know? And you find out that they don't know much that you don't know. They have just gone through the process of becoming a diamond. And friends, if I present to you a diamond, what do we know about a diamond? It's unbreakable. The people today who are saying, it gets to be easy. Building a business gets to be easy. Being an entrepreneur, it gets to be easy. Making money, it gets to be easy. If you can't tell, like, I don't love that phrase. But the ones who are saying it went through the process of becoming a diamond. And so now that they feel unshakable and unbreakable and shining and bright, and they've been discovered and they know their value, things are a little easier. But that's not the conversation of tonight. Because I feel it's dismissive of everyone who's on the road. I feel it's hyper dismissive of everyone who's on the journey. Does anyone know how a diamond is actually made? My team and I looked this up. We had a planning meeting with our interns and Jesse, our production team, a couple Tuesdays ago. And we mapped out our 2023 as a company, as a corporation, as a brand. What were our intentions? What were the primary focuses? Like, what are we doing? And we planned to offer our final free masterclass of the year, which we're in right now. And we talked about a diamond. Because I was like, I have to speak to the entrepreneurs. I have to speak to the process. I have to normalize the learning trauma. I have to normalize the discomforts. I have to let them know that they're not stupid or crazy or behind. Like, for fuck's sake, you're not behind. You're not stupid. You're not lazy. You didn't miss something. You're just in the process. And the whole game of entrepreneurial magnitude is, can you stand the process? If you're live, hashtag, can I stand the process? My husband and I right now are watching Yellowstone in 1882. I did a whole month of no Netflix, no Hulu, no streaming, etc. And now we're watching some of our favorite things that feel like a masterclass. I love to watch a series that literally feels like a masterclass. And these shows feel like an entrepreneurial masterclass. I bawl, like I cry every time because I see so many aspects of business and life and family virtue in these shows. And we talked about the whole process of like families who have generational wealth. And there's an element of hardness. There's an element of grit. There's an element of holding a standard. There's an element of unshakableness that comes with going through the hard process, the tough times. So this is fresh on my mind. My team and I looked up, what does it take to become a diamond? And it starts with carbon, which is really interesting because like that's one of our major elements. If you break down the human body, like we're a lot of carbon. So it starts with carbon. And it's buried. It's buried. I so relate to this. Because the dress that I'm wearing tonight, this dress, I held on to this dress. I almost sold it a couple times and I held on to it. This dress, this particular sparkly little rose gold number that's becoming a little bit too big for me, and I'm real happy to report that. This particular dress, I wore this dress in February of 2016 when I launched the first, 7 or so pieces of cosmetics that I ever developed. So my journey into mentoring women entrepreneurs, it began as first a makeup artist, then a celebrity makeup artist and stylist, and then a product developer, and then building my own 7-figure brand, and then mentoring other women. So that's where we started. And I can tell you something about that first year because we incorporated in 2015. And I wrote a little blurb about it last night, what it was actually like. That first year as an entrepreneur, the first year I found the bravery to negotiate with my boss to work less at the salon. Like my livelihood for like about a decade was working in salons, like high class ones. $250 hair colors, like when that was expensive, like $60 to $90 blow dry service, $100 makeup application, celebrity clients coming in and out. I was booked for some really cool celebrity gigs for about 5 years. It was how I paid my bills. It was how I lived. That was my money source. And my first year deciding to go into business for myself, I finally found the bravery to go to my boss and just say, like, you know, I realize that I'm an asset to your team. I don't want to let you down. By the way, I took a negotiation class before I had this conversation. It was really freaking helpful. And I said, I would like to continue serving the clients that are of highest value to you, but I'd like to do it in 3 to 5 days a month. Would it be possible if I pare down my schedule and continue working for you and with you and as a part of your team? But I'll be moving to Los Angeles, and I'd like to come back maybe 1 week a month and serve all of the clients that are the top on the roster for me. And I negotiated, and they said yes. My first year in business, my husband and I moved into a house in Los Angeles. I'd previously sold all my furniture to like eradicate debt. We moved into a house, and our first year in business, we slept on the floor. He was from Canada. He left all of his stuff at the border and crossed with nothing except a suitcase. Left it in storage for when immigration was complete and we could go back together and get it all. We slept on the floor. We got a kitchen table off of Craigslist. And it was at that kitchen table that I wrote the business plans for our beauty company. A few days a month, I would drive from Los Angeles down to San Diego. And in 3 to 5 days, you know, working down there, I would make enough money to pay all of our bills, you know, just living expenses like rent and utilities and, you know, some food or whatever. Living in LA, which is expensive AF. And I spent the rest of my time deciding that I was going to become a personal brand. My husband and I co-founded a beauty brand. And we had no fucking clue what we were doing. There are some of you right now who are watching this and you have the entrepreneurial spirit. You know you are made to be the 1%. And you're like, I feel it. I have an inkling. And I also have no fucking clue what I'm doing. But you're brave. Like, brave bordering on stupid is what I would call what I did. But I was just like, I'm just going to go down to like 3 to 5 days a month and pay all my bills with like a week of work a month. And the rest of my time, I'm going to figure out how to make a personal brand. And we're going to just go for it. Like my heart, you can probably see my heart through my shirt. My heart is like beating so hard telling you this story. During that timeline, we got to a place that was really fucking scary. So, first starters, my first lesson in business was no one knows you. That was lesson number 1 in business. I had worked in salons for nearly a decade where like they did all the marketing. So I had never had to go find a client in my whole life. And I just took it for granted that like if I would just say in the online space, like I'm doing makeup, like hire me as a freelancer. I just figured like people would be like, okay, hi, what's your calendar? How do I book? Like I had no way for them to book. Idiot. Like I had never had to go get a client before. And very fast, I realized you're invisible. Like Xtina Harmsworth, you're invisible. No one knows that you exist. Nobody knows you. Surprise! Shit. That's this part of the journey is what I would call buried. This is the part of the diamond journey where you're fucking invisible. Like, you've got this start of a thing. You've got the carbon within. You're like, yes, I'm made for diamondhood. I can feel it. I don't want to work for nobody else. Like, you can see the way that, like, you're being used at your job. Like, you've got a little spike going on. Like, you might dislike your boss a hot second. It's like, it's this thing that only entrepreneurs can understand where you're just like, I cannot work for somebody else anymore because I see their business plan and I see that I'm a pawn in their plan. And this would work if I didn't have a vision for my life, but my vision is bigger than this thing that I'm doing, and so this doesn't work. Not everyone is cut out like this. And this masterclass isn't for everyone. This conversation is only for the entrepreneurs and the 1% of entrepreneurs that actually make it. And I know that there's some of you in my audience, I am certain. So there is an element of this at the start, and then you get humbled real fucking fast. So the buried portion of becoming a diamond is when you realize that nobody knows who you are and you're invisible. And there's going to be a process and some time between the moment when people pay you for the rareness and the beauty of who you are and what you have, and this moment that you're at the beginning where you're like, oh shit, I have a lot of balls, and also no one knows my name. Cool. So there's that. Has anyone had this moment where you're like, I'm going to start a business, and then you're like, oh wait, I really don't have the pull that I thought I had. Shit. Anybody else? Just me. Me, like 10 times in my career so far. Me, like, oh, I thought I was real good, and also shit. Yeah. So there's the buried part. The other interesting thing about this segment of the Uncut Diamond is that once you decide, you're like, yes, I'm becoming a diamond. I am going after the thing. Like, we're doing this. There's a discovered part. Like, you're buried. You are not visible. No one knows that this huge process is happening within you. And really the only people who will ever understand this process are the ones who stuck it out and became a diamond. And the people who will hate your process the most are the people who couldn't hack it. And they couldn't stay in the pressure. And they lost the game. And so they're unhappy that you have picked to be a diamond. But other than the diamonds themselves, no one understands what you're going through. And this beginning part is like a moment of being like, oh, okay, so like, I know that I'm made for more, and also there's a gap between what I thought was going to happen and what's happening right now. And your skill is invisible. Like, you've got the inkling of the skill. You've got a dream. And if this lands with you, I want you to just hashtag right now, whether you're watching replay or whether you're watching live, I want you to hashtag, I have a dream. There are some of you that have the inklings of a dream, but you don't, it is yet to be discovered how this thing is going to be unfolded. And you are kind of in the dark figuring this shit out. So that was us in 2015 and early 2016. So we had the dream, yet to be determined how it was all going to play out. An inkling of an idea. We thought beauty, makeup, right? That seems an obvious path. We could do that. And while we were buried, and only another diamond could relate, and there weren't that many diamonds for me to talk to back then, I met a couple at conferences every 6 to 8 weeks. There was a couple particular diamonds who could really speak to my spirit because they saw the pressure that I was going through, and they would speak life into me. But it was few and far between. And then part 2 of the process, this is how a diamond happens. Carbon, buried, pressure. Pressure kicked in. And I had it all figured out. I was like, okay, so I've been styling makeup artists. I'm going to open an agency. I'm going to certify other makeup artists. I'm going to send them on my gigs. That would be vibey. Like, that works. Then I can stay at home and intercept calls and book makeup artists, and I can send the makeup artists to go do the work, and I'll collect a portion of their money. I'll make an agency. Vibes. That was like our first foray into business. And we spent a bunch of money on marketing, and we put it out there, and a couple people bought. And at the end of the first year, we had made $26,000 living in Los Angeles. Just by the way, Cliff's Notes, that's nothing. So cute. So certifying makeup artists and opening an agency, that idea bombed. Like, bombed. Capital BOMBED. Bombed. We bombed. Done. Toast. It was a failure. The pressure was on. We went $60,000 in debt our first year in business because we bombed. The pressure was on. I remember my husband and I would get to the end of the money that I was making, you know, in my 3 to 5 days of working at the salon. And he would go to my purse, which was like, we were newly married, so that felt like hyper invasive. I was like, dude, you don't go into people's purses. Like, what the hell? I felt like a sugar mama. I felt so weird. He couldn't work. He was an immigrant. Like, oh my God, it was such a mess. And he would go in my purse and get our Visa credit card, and we started putting all of our groceries on credit cards because we couldn't afford jack shit. And I wrote about this last night. It got to a point where, like, I was still driving down to San Diego from Los Angeles, and just FYI, that's about a 2 to 3 hour drive. Like, Los Angeles traffic is no joke. So I would get up at the ass crack of dawn and drive down to Carlsbad in my car that had literally no air conditioning in Southern California, no AC. Like, imagine you do your hair and makeup like real cute, and then you drive in hot ass weather and you're stuck like at a standstill in hot ass weather in the traffic with your windows down, just like minding your own business while your hair goes flat. And yeah, it's a mess. And we were so behind on our money that first year of just like, I was like, I literally, it would be stupid of me at this point to fix my car. Like, I didn't have the stomach for it. You're going to find as you become a diamond, there's a lot of shit you don't have a stomach for at the beginning. And the pressure is crazy. And you're going to have a choice of whether at the very beginning you're going to let go of all of your dreams because you feel invisible and it kicks your ego in the face. And the money is tight and the pressure is rising. And you're going to get to decide very early in your entrepreneurial journey if this is for you or not. And the thing that I almost want to say to people is, if you can't take the pressure, just don't even get started. Like, you're going to get your feelings hurt. And I don't say this type of stuff very frequently because I'm very much here for encouragement, but this is for the 1%. Like, this is for the diamonds in the making. And you'll relate to that statement because you'll be like, yeah, a lot of people do get their feelings hurt and then they quit. And it gives all of us a bad name. So I was at a point where I would drive, down to San Diego, like Carlsbad, and it didn't make sense to get an Airbnb. I remember renting a couple really sketchy Airbnbs, and I was like, it's probably more dangerous for me to sleep with this Airbnb than to just crash in my car. I was like calling the little Airbnb number saying like, this place is like weird. Like, I think I'm about to get trafficked. Like, I can't sleep there. I want my money back. And then I just decided to start sleeping in my car on these trips because I wanted to pocket the cash. Somebody say the pressure is on. Pressure's on. The pressure was on. So my husband would stay up in LA and I would drive down. And the one thing that I did keep was my 24-hour fitness membership because I got in on a deal and it was like $20 a month or something crazy like that. And so I would stop at the gym and zhuzh up my hair and fix up my makeup and go into work and serve clients that I was charging like $300 for a hair appointment. And I'd stack my books back to back. The pressure was on. You can't fall behind. Books stacked back to back to fit as many clients as I could on those days. Cannot fall behind, cannot be late. Energy has to be perfect. Look, smell, act, blow dry, shampoo perfectly for these clients. Makeup on point for these clients. And at the end of the day, I would drive up to a cliff in Carlsbad and watch the sun go dark over the ocean. Just sit there and fucking cry on the hood of my car. Because I knew that there was something out there. I knew that there was something greater. I could feel that there was something more. And the pressure was so hard, it felt like I would crack. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I could kind of talk to my mom, and I love my mom, but my mom was not an entrepreneur. I had what I thought was like a coach back then, but it wasn't a coach that you talk to on the phone. Nobody in the salon understood what I was doing. I got a lot of hate. A lot of jealousy. A lot of like, oh, who do you think you are? You take more time off to go work at Fashion Week? Yes, ma'am. I am. You could tell the ones that gave up on their dreams. You could tell the ones that had the making of a diamond. They had that carbon, and they couldn't sit with the pressure. So at the end of these days, I would go and I would sit on the hood of my car, and a lot of times I'd buy a Ben & Jerry's and just sit there and eat an ice cream and look out into forever and just sit there for hours until the sun went down. Text Brad, go drive someplace safe. There was a gated community that I used to live in when I lived in San Diego, and I would just drive in there and I would park and climb in the back seat of my car with the tinted windows, and I would sleep in my car. So uncomfortable. I remember one night, the car next to me got towed because for whatever reason, I think a repo company came and like towed this car in the middle of the night. They probably followed somebody in and like came and got somebody's car for no payment. And I swear to God, I thought that someone had like called and reported my car. And I was like, ah, like shit. Like I heard everything like right next to me. And I was like, what do I do? Do I act like I'm not here? Do I stay in the back? What do I do? Ah! Like I was so embarrassed. My heart was like racing through my chest. And then I realized that they were lifting the car next to me. And I was like, fuck. I just like hid in the backseat of my car and like watched them tow this car away. It was so like the pressure was unreal. And I would wait for like the first inklings of the sun or like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would drive over to like Walmart and get some breakfast or like go. I picked up towels one morning because I was like, I want to go take a long shower and do my hair and my makeup at the gym and just like reset and just pretend this isn't happening. I bought these 2 towels, went to 24-hour fitness, pretended I was doing a workout. Like I did a quick like stretch yoga thing. So like my neck was probably kinked, sleeping in the backseat of the car, hips hurting. And then I got ready for the day and went back to work, and nobody was the wiser. Like, I would tell Brad where I was, but like, I felt like there was nobody that understood the journey. I felt like my parents would be just like dismayed. I didn't have children at this time, so like kids weren't in the picture. I was the kid in the picture. I'm sure my parents would have been horrified. But I just felt like nobody got it, and that I would be critiqued for like, oh, well, you spent all this money going to conferences and taking business trainings, but you're in debt and you have to sleep in your car. Like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to say your journey, the journey of a diamond, doesn't make sense. I went through months of this. Heartbreak, frustration, nights that all that me and Brad could do was just, at the end of the night, we would turn on the TV in our living room and watch YouTube videos about manufacturing and watch shows like Shark Tank and Marcus Lemonis The Prophet. Anybody watch that show? And it was like soul food to me. I watched the movie Joy more times than I could even tell you, because I could see the making of a diamond. And every time that I watched that story, I was like, oh my gosh, she went through hell, this girl. I want to say something to you that I said earlier this week inside of Clear to Soar, which is, don't waste a good crisis. Like, never waste a good crisis. If you're a diamond in the making, this stuff is going to happen to you. The pressure at sometimes is going to feel unreal. And the thing about a diamond is they test a diamond to see if it's real, not by just looking at it, because, you know, not to be tooting my own horn, but like as an entrepreneur, I look pretty diamondy today, right? I got the makeup, I got the necklace, I got the real diamonds, I got the cute dress, I got the background. Looks real diamondy, right? Looks are very deceiving. Because the real test of a diamond is a pressure test. You know, just take a little magnifying glass and go, oh, that looks right. Should be real. Like moissanite, cubic zirconia. Can all look that way. You find out what a diamond is and who a diamond is and if it's real. The reality test is, how does it perform under pressure? Is it breakable? Honey. Some of you have already been to hell and back in this lifetime. Several times. You can look back and you can pinpoint the times when you were buried, invisible, pressured. It looked impossible. You had an inkling of an idea and you had no idea how the hell it was ever going to work out. And tomorrow night and the next night, I'm going to talk more about the journey of a diamond. Because when you think the pressure's done and you've been through enough, then the fire turns on. And you stand it through the flames. And you think you're complete. And then you get cut. And it's a process. We've been in business now like 7 years. And I can tell you the difference between me and so many people who had the same dream. I thought it was going to be makeup. I thought I was going to be a famous YouTuber, and that shit has not happened, no matter how many times I've tried. I thought I'd have an agency. Didn't happen. A lot of the things that I thought were going to be the way that we became the thing never happened. A lot of times I overestimated my pull. I overestimated what I could do, and I drastically underestimated the $2.7 million that we've made in the recent years inside this brand. Because I refused to give up when it felt like I was being crushed. Diamonds take development. It's a process. And a lot of you underestimate what it's going to take. And you've bought into this rhetoric of like, oh, it gets to be easy. And you're like, yeah, I'll buy that class. And then in the real life, in the day-to-day, in the day in and the day out, in the saying yes, the pressure, the refining, the heat, the cuts, you realize, no, that was a misconception. And that when you are a diamond and you've made it all the way, there will be certain things that are easier. And it won't be because they're easy, it'll be because you're fucking unbreakable. Because you stayed in it and you developed. You developed the character. You developed the integrity. You developed the skills. You developed the intuition. You developed the stick-to-itiveness. You developed the right kind of friends. You developed and cultivated the type of people around you to speak to this side of you. You get it? I want to shatter this belief that it's just like, oh, it just gets to be easy. It's like, no, you become unbreakable. You will shine. And you will be paid for the rarity that you are. But you've got to develop. And you have to stick to it. And allow yourself to be a diamond. Refined. Cut. I want to circle back to the very beginning, the opening of this video, and say this year probably from the outside looked very unglamorous and boring. And if you pulled up to my house on a random Tuesday, you would find me probably in a hoodie or a t-shirt or a sports bra, laying on my bed, generating content, taking breaks to be with my babies, and doing the things that I committed to with my heart and soul day in and day out for a year. I gave myself the chance to develop. I gave myself opportunities to be cut. I walked through the fire and I let people know that it was hot and I wasn't stopping. Tonight, I felt the pressure and the heat rising, and it felt like just the beginning of the journey, right back at the beginning again. The days when all we did was watch YouTube and Shark Tank and Marcus Lemonis the Prophet and did the work to figure out how the hell to launch a makeup line. And I bought this dress and stood on a red carpet that I helped to put together at a party that I helped throw, and launched our makeup line that ended up leading over years to becoming a multi-seven-figure brand. But like, it was a failure. The night was a failure. We have the pictures of the night and we look sparkly like diamonds, but I was in the pressure. I was in the heat. I was in the starting blocks. And I wore this dress as like a symbol of what we were creating, but like the party was a bust. It was supposed to be this huge thing. It did literally nothing for my career. We started our makeup line at a red carpet party event and it had zero results for me except a picture. The things that you think are going to make you are not the things that make you. It's who you become behind the scenes. It's the pressure test. It's, do you say yes when it's uncomfortable? And do you find and cultivate the people around you who are also in the yes? Who are diamonds in the making, who are diamonds uncut, and you're walking together side by side, shoulder to shoulder, including with your mentors. Because as many times as I've been through feeling buried and in the pressure and in the fire and in the cuts, like it happens again every year. I'm going to say it again, there hasn't been an easy year. I have yet to get to the place, this fabled place of it gets to be easy. I haven't seen it yet. And I don't believe it exists. I believe that you become unbreakable, that you become the type of person that things that would shatter other people's worlds will happen to you on a random Tuesday. And you're just like, it's another Tuesday. What's next? Some of you are made for that. Some of you, this is not the message for you. And I believe that deep in your soul, you know who you are. If this is for you, you know it because you're in it. And you've been looking for someone to tell you that you're not crazy and that you're not stupid and that it hasn't been that you've missed the boat. There's not, some secret sauce that other people have. It's just they've been through more pressure and they continue to say yes. And now they're unbreakable, so it looks fucking easy. But what I do want to speak to is the development. Because you can let this take a ton of time. And this is kind of my theory, but I think it serves some coaches, not all coaches. It serves some mentors and some coaches for you to buy into the concept that you are this person in the making and that you shouldn't put a time limit on it and that you should not stress yourself out and you should have zero pressure because it serves them if you play slower because it puts them further ahead. Think about it. If you really played full out, if you stopped assuming that you have all the time in the world and you made a commitment to develop yourself over a year, and you would give yourself markers of time, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and you would decide to do the things that it takes in practice, if you would allow yourself to sit through the pressure and reach out to the coach, these coaches would be making their greatest competition. I tell my masterminds on a regular basis, I know I'm raising up my peers in this industry. I'm cool with it. My mentor is also cool with it. She expects us to have a year where we have a champagne call over Zoom to celebrate our first 7-figure year. That's the expectation. Not everybody does it. A percentage do. These are the type of women that I know I'm going to be raising up in the next year. Women who stop giving themselves an easy out. Women who dedicate themselves to the craft, devote themselves to their calling, devote themselves to creating high-level content that changes the world. Women who devote themselves to using their voice and honing their skills and learning what they don't know and sitting in the discomfort of feeling like a dumbass because they're doing something for the first time. They're using an app for the first time and they feel slow and their ego wants to get them the fuck out of there. That's who I'm working with this upcoming year. Women who will sit in the discomfort and say, this is hard. I had a rough day. I thought this was going to take me an hour. It took me 4 hours. It's killing me. And I'm going to be there for these women and be like, all right, girl, this is what I want you to go do. I'm proud of you. Go take a nap. Go take a bath. Take really good care of you. Let's hash it out. Let's talk it out. Let's make a strategy. And we're going to get after it again tomorrow. These are the women I want to walk with. This is the nature of locked and loaded. This is the nature of a year with me. There are clients that I've worked with that blossomed over time. And it's been beautiful to witness. It's been really cool. I've really enjoyed it. There have been people that have come to me later and said, oh my God, I forgot to tell you, I hit the 6 figures in a year. I forgot to say. I'm like, shit. Thank you for telling me 2 years later. There are people who show up after doing a mastermind with me and they'll tell me the next year, oh my God, I forgot to tell you, I made an extra $80,000 this year compared to last year. Like, I forgot to say. And I'm like, fuck, thank you for telling me. And it's beautiful and it matters. And I love to see the journey. And I want people to come back and tell me what happened a year later, 2 years later, how it all came together. But I have a feeling about 2023 that there are some people who are going to realize that this doesn't last forever. That there's a chance that you've got. That this is, in the words of my mentor, like the youngest you'll ever be and the wisest you've ever been. And this is your only shot at this year. You don't get this back. And there are some of you who have to stop acting like you have all the time in the world because you don't. It's time for you to fucking develop the gift as fast as you can so that you can enjoy the gift and the accoutrements of success and the wealth and the way that you get to bless yourself and your families and the people around you and the impact that you get to make. But it's time to develop your skills. That is who Diamonds Uncut is for. So if you're just here for the motivation and the inspiration, I see you. If you've had a year where you've cried and you've felt buried and you've questioned the direction and you've gone, I think I know how this could work, and none of it has happened the way that I thought it would. I see you, and I want to normalize this. If you're somebody who has learned how to use an app for the first time this year, an app that's new to you, and you cried and you felt stupid or you were frustrated or things took longer than you thought that they should have this year, just throw hearts. I see you. Those of you who had big day Barbie type of days where you had a photo shoot and the vanity and like all the things. And behind the scenes, you were under so much pressure. I get you. I see you. I understand it. And I want to encourage you that if you know it in your soul that you're meant for more, this is just part of the process. And the thing is, you get to expedite it or you get to sit in it longer. And that's your choice. It's about self-development. You becoming better in here is what makes this go faster or not. You hanging around the right people, you having like your clique of biz besties or entrepreneur besties is the difference between this killing you and taking you out of the game or you being like, just an average Tuesday, man. Like, shit's hitting the fan. I'm in it. We're still out here. It's just Tuesday. And they're going to be like, girl, I see you. Virtual hugs. Let's go get it. Like, that's the difference. If I were to tell the world half the shit that I go through, they'd be like, are you okay? This is insane. Are you sure it isn't time to just throw in the towel? This might not be good for you. But I'm a $1 billion baby, honey. Like, that stuff's been prophesied over me for years. Like, I know I'm a $1 billion baby. Like, I hope to have a seat on Shark Tank someday. Like, I know who I am. And this is just an average Tuesday. Okay? Things are crazy. And it's an average Tuesday. This is called resiliency. This is called unbreakable. This means you cannot break the person. They've been through the pressure. You will become like this, and you get to expedite the process. So I have an invitation for you. And again, this is not for everyone. And every night after I give these moments together, these conversations where I normalize this process that you're in, and I let you know that you're not crazy and you might be the one who's in it to win it. And I'm going to speak to the 1%er in you. Okay? If you're here for that, if you're ready for someone to put some wind back in your sails, you want to be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and you want to be here Thursday night at 8 p.m. And at the end of each night, I'm going to offer an invitation for you. So if you feel complete with the encouragement, cool. Come back tomorrow. I'll see you then. Diamond. But for those of you who are like, what's next? Like, you're telling me to develop and I don't know what that means. I have an invitation for you. At the very beginning of tonight, I talked about the journey of this year. That sounded boring on the surface. Sounds very boring. To some people, it sounds iconic and legendary because they want to do this. They're like, oh my God, yeah, I want $1 million brand. Sign me up. What you do, girl? And when I say that I gave 11 free masterclasses and 10 full-length programs, and when I say that I did 10 micro courses and held 4 masterminds, and when I say that I had 19, in-person client photo shoots, and when I say that we had 24 VIP days, and I've led private clients, like when I say all those metrics, and that we've had 274 clients this year, paying clients this year. When I say that, there are some people who are like, remarkable, sign me up. How do you do that? Behind the scenes, that probably might also sound really freaking boring, those things that I did. But for the person who knows that they're a diamond in the making, this is the journey. There are people who have been watching for a hot minute and they're like, how do I get mentorship with you? I'm going to tell you. Okay. So I'm going to start tonight by telling you about Locked and Loaded. That's the space for entrepreneurs in the making, personal brands in the making. It's the place where I unveil everything that I had to learn on the way to building a multi-7-figure brand. I'm so proud to say that our brand has made 7 figures in sales in the last year. That's insane. We're working on the juicy, crazy possibility of having $1 million cash year, and we'll find out in the next couple of weeks if it happens. And if it doesn't, it's like I can't really cough and complain about what we've done because we've doubled our numbers from a year ago. I'm not mad at that. But Locked and Loaded is the journey of a year with me. It's 10 programs, 10 micro courses. It's an all-access pass to anything else that I create. It's access to me as a VIP once a month where we brainstorm about your business. So not only do you learn everything that it took for me to get to where I am today, social media marketing, how to use different apps, copywriting, video presentations, how to give a masterclass, how to do an organic social media launch, how to create your own branding, how to plan a photo shoot, how to coach your clients, how to launch your mentorship, how to launch your masterclass, how to talk about selling physical products, the energetics behind the scenes so that you don't crack underneath the pressure, learning how to balance your emotions and your energetics. All the pieces that it took for me to get here is what I showcase inside that place. I think the coolest piece of it is the VIP days, honestly, though. Because once a month we get together and I dedicate one day a month strictly to this place, Locked and Loaded, where we literally just talk all day long. All the members of Locked and Loaded, it's a full day where we mastermind together and I answer questions like Tennille's, like, how do you find out what you want to do? A lot of people figure that out inside my space. How do I know what I want to sell? What do I want to offer? What's my intellectual property? How do I figure that out? We do it together. We create your offers. We find your IP. We create your pricing structures. We teach you how to get out there and sell it. So Locked and Loaded is my premier space for 2023. There's already, I believe, 21 women in it for January, which is blowing my socks off. That's very exciting. I think number 22 might have told us that she was putting the money in the bank to transfer it today. So that's fucking crazy. The Locked and Loaded is available right now for $11,111. It's a year of mentorship walking with me. The reason that I'm telling you here live and saying the price is that for 2023, the price is increasing on Friday morning. This isn't the space for everybody, and there's zero pressure for you to buy it. But if it landed for you when I was like, some of you think you have a long fucking time and you have a few short years, and it's time for you to get serious about developing your skills. You have to get serious about self-development. You know that you're made for more than the job that you're working. You know that you have a gift that other people don't understand. And it's time for you to get around people that understand you and a mentor who can walk with you and who can normalize the pressure that you're in and help you to stay in it and expedite out of it to the next move. If those pieces landed for you, Locked and Loaded is a perfect space for you. Now I'm starting with talking about this offer, which is a more high ticket offer first, because I want to respect the fact that there are people who have to sleep on a decision, and I'm one of them. That's the way that I buy. I like to hear about what's available next. I like to hear about the options of working with a mentor, and then I pray about it and I go to sleep. And sometimes I take a couple nights and pray about it and go to sleep, and I let it haunt me a little bit, if I'm being frank. Because I realize that if the price goes up and I miss the deal and I miss the opportunity, I let myself feel the feeling of missing it. And if it doesn't bother me, I know it's not for me. And if I can't stop thinking about it and I know that this is the thing for me for the next year and I want to get it at the best price, then I move. So Locked and Loaded is currently $11K. It's $11,111. With payment plan options available, so you can pay monthly if you like, and those payments are $1,111 right now. That price will stay the same overnight tonight. That price will be that price all day Wednesday if you're still thinking about it. Some of you have a sacral yes right now, and you're like, yep, I'm doing it. Give me the link. But for those of you who are sleeping on it, the price will be that price all day Thursday while you think and decide and plan, or message our team, or ask for a split pay, or do all the things. Negotiate, talk to your partner, pray about it some more. That's fine. But Friday morning, the price goes to $15,000, and it will never come back down to this price again. So there's about $4K at stake. Friday morning, the Locked and Loaded experience. 1 year walking together, all access pass to my courses, 1 VIP day a month. All of it goes to $15K on Friday morning. So again, this wasn't for everyone. This one was for the entrepreneurs. I do lots of interesting things around inner healing and energetics, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But I really wanted to open the conversation tonight around Locked and Loaded and entrepreneurship mentorship for the next year. So if you have any questions on it, I know my team put the link for Locked and Loaded. There's so many different options that you have. You can do split pays, you can do payment plans, you can message our team if you want an invoice to pay with multiple cards. We just normalize it. I've done it all. Like, I've paid for things with credit cards. I've asked, can I split this up? I maxed out on this one. I want to do this, right? I was very clear. I went $60,000 in debt my first year in business, and I've used loans and debts to grow my brand lots of times. I'm no stranger to this. So we don't think it's weird if you reach out and you're like, yeah, my credit card only has $1,000 on this one, and I got like $5 on this one, and I got like $3 on this one. So can we split it up? Yes, you can. We got you, boo. We got you. But this price is going away this week for Locked and Loaded. It will never return again. I will never run a promo on this again. It'll be $15,000 from Friday moving forward into the entire year. And it'll probably go up again in 2023 as the value increases. And I create more spaciousness around my programs, my time, and my offers. All of my prices are going up. So that's the vibe for Locked and Loaded. Feel free to message my team if you have any questions. And the final thing that I want to say is that we are doing something this month. I'm giving away $100,000 in mentorship. So there are people here. If you're inside of Clear to Soar, you can hashtag Clear to Soar. There's some of you whose names have been going in a draw to win mentorship. I'm giving away $100,000 in mentorship in that space. And there are some of you who are kind of playing your cards and you're going like, okay, what if I win the money inside of Clear to Soar and I can put it towards Locked and Loaded? Like, I kind of want to wait to see if I win anything. And here's what I want to say to you. If you're in Clear to Soar and you're waiting to see if you are one of the winners, it's possible you could miss the chance to get Locked and Loaded at this price. So what I would encourage you to do if Locked and Loaded is on your 100% fuck yes list for 2023 is to message the team and put in your first month's payments for Locked and Loaded for next year. Because if you end up winning something, you can apply it to the rest of the payment. But if you win nothing and you gamble and you want Locked and Loaded on Friday morning before we do the name draw, the price will be up to $15K. So you will have gambled and missed out on a $4,000 discount. So if it's on your list, just message the team, make your first payment for the year of Locked and Loaded. And then if you win, we'll apply it to the rest. Okay, so that's what I've got for tonight. Tomorrow night, we are going to be back and I'm going to be talking about some inner healing, part of this journey. Because yes, I mentor entrepreneurs a lot, especially on social media growth and what it takes behind the scenes to stand in the pressure. And there are some of you who are a diamond in the making, and there's more for you. And perhaps working with me as a mentor in business isn't aligned for 2023, and I understand that. So tomorrow night, we're going to talk about the emotional aspect of this journey. I'm going to be telling you about some other things that aren't so high ticket where we can work together next year. So I hope that tonight supercharged you. I hope that it put wind in your sails. I hope that it gave you a peek behind the scenes. I hope that it helped you to understand that it's not just the sparkly people with metrics that make it in this industry. It's people who become indestructible because they stand in the pressure and the fire and they walk through the cuts. But they find the right people around them. They surround themselves with biz besties and other diamonds in the making who understand this process, who can give you a hug and a pat on the back and tell you, you know what, Lisa, it's just another Tuesday. We freaking got this. I love you. You're made for this. You're more than made for this. If you weren't made for this, you wouldn't be able to see the vision for it. This is just a tough moment. It won't last forever. You can stand this. Let's get back out there. Let's collapse time around this not being uncomfortable the way that it is right now. Let's get to diamond. Let's get to the place where you're unbreakable. Let's get to the place where days like this don't even make you sweat anymore. That is what I'm after for women. I love you so much. I hope you walk away changed. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. with a different dress.